decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Rebound, Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! What a shot from Curry. The Knicks take the lead.
Welcome to the One-Sided Pod. Though we're all over the U.S., one thing unites us together, and it's that we're all Laker fans. This is our 5th season together, and we're here to talk some ball. Let's go. What's good? Welcome to the first episode of the One-Sided Pod. This is Orechi, and before we start the episode, I'd like to put a disclaimer out there. Me and all the guests on this podcast are Laker fans, and we decided not to sugarcoat it and not try to be unbiased or neutral because as humans, it's just not possible. So we're going to be as biased as possible. And today we have a special guest. If you could introduce yourself.
Hey guys, it's John here, and like Richie said, we are going to be a little bit biased. Hopefully not too much. But of course, we ride Lakers, you know?
Laker Nation.
Laker Nation, of course.
Yes, sir. So yeah, a little bit more about myself is that I'm 20. I'm a third year in college, and I live in New Jersey.
So also a little bit more information about me. I'm also living in New Jersey, and I'm 20, and I'm a junior at Stevens.
In today's episode, we like to start a little cliche, a little predictable, but we're going to do a top 5 list. And the first top 5 list we're going to do is top 5 players in the current NBA. The second list will be top 5 players all time in the NBA. And we'll go from 5 to 1. And then after the second pick, we'll have 3 honorable mentions. I will start number 5, current NBA, with the reigning MVP, Joel Embiid. What is yours,
Really?
John?
Really? You put Embiid at number 5. Well, at number 5, I know this is probably going to tick you off, but I put the GOAT, LeBron James, at number 5.
Number 5?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's
number
a little
5,
low.
you know. Going to season 21, he's still going to average LeBron numbers, which means he's probably going to average somewhere around like 28, 8, and 8. He's still going to be an elite player. But I feel like there are so many other more players that will play so much better than LeBron. You know, especially with his age declining, I feel like his age will start to show, especially this season.
Mhm.
He's recovering from
I
an
see.
injury from last season.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it seems like going into the preseason, he's at 100%, but I feel like his age will catch up to him this season.
I can see that. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Next to number 4. You can go first.
All right, at number 4, it's basically what you picked. I have Joel Embiid at number 4.
Ooh.
The
Embiid
reigning
at 4.
MVP.
Okay.
What about
I
you?
see. For number 4, I picked Luka Doncic.
Luka, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think you have him higher than me, but
Putting Luka at 4, I feel like it's very disrespectful because every season Luka is getting significantly better. And with him averaging basically, well, last season he averaged 33-8 and I believe 7 assists or 7 rebounds. I feel like this is truly his MVP season because he's been a front runner many times, but he's fallen off towards the end of the NBA season. And I feel like this year, especially with the Kyrie Luka duo, he will succeed in that environment. So I feel like putting him number 4 is kind of disrespectful to Luka. I feel like it's very low for Luka.
I think that Kyrie acquisition will just lower his numbers because before Kyrie, he didn't really have a second option who can score and even play make. So I predict that his points and assists will go down. And the reason I had him at 4 is actually because his team didn't even make the play-in last season.
Yeah, that was tragic.
Not making the playoffs is one thing, but not even making the play-in as the 11th seed, I think that kind of brought the stock down for me. I still think he has the opportunity and the potential to win MVP, like you said. But as of right now, after what happened last season, he's at number 4 for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially last season was very tragic with
Mm-hmm.
couple games before playoffs started. They got Kyrie, and I thought it was gonna go extremely well for them, but they
Mm-hmm.
started losing tremendously, and
Yeah.
definitely the Dallas Mavericks
Yeah.
took a stock hit from that.
Yeah, definitely. And as a Laker fan, it was a blessing in disguise that we
Hmm.
didn't get Kyrie.
Yeah, definitely. If Kyrie went to the Lakers, I feel like it would have been disastrous for them.
Yeah, it would have probably. Yeah. And let's go to number 3.
Hmm.
This is where I have my GOAT. LeBron Raymond James. Number 3.
Okay, I could see why. Number 3, I have player we just discussed. I have Luka Doncic.
Oh, look at
I feel
Doncic.
yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like he will very well exceed our expectations. And looking at his um preseason form, I could see that he slimmed down a little because his athleticism was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
definitely an issue, and like getting in shape was definitely an issue for him from the past. So I think now, especially with a high caliber player like Kyrie, he will want to try to win, take things seriously, especially in the years of his prime. I think Luca will especially flourish this season.
I can't argue with that. Yeah. And your number 2?
All right, we have the Greek freak Giannis at number
Mm,
2 here.
yeah. Same for me.
Yep, I thought so. I thought so. Giannis always reliable. He'll give you, especially paired with Dame this season. I feel like Giannis will still do his job. He's basically the most unstoppable player in the NBA right now, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
Chris Middleton's back healthy.
Yeah, healthy. They
Brooke
got
Lopez
shooters. They
still
got
there.
elite
Yep.
Dame Lillard. It's gonna just be a good year for Giannis. He'll continue his trend.
It's just Giannis. So
Just
you
the
know,
Greek freak things.
it's Giannis. It's
Yeah.
Greek freak.
No questions asked.
I think after we say our number 1, I think then we can really say more about why Giannis is below number 1. I think
Mhm.
we have the same player, but before we go into that, let's go to our honorable mentions.
Mhm.
So for my 3, not in order, but it's Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis. Those would be my 6 through 8,
Really?
not
So
in any order. Yep.
okay. So similar to yours, I have two similar players. I have AD and Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And who's your third player that you? Who's your third player?
Steph Curry.
Stephen Curry. Yeah. So for my third player, I have Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
Oh,
You know,
SGA, huh?
Like as you've seen last season, he averaged damn close near 31. He averaged 6 assists
Mm-hmm.
too, and I feel like I Thunders were a very mediocre team, but now they have Chet too fully back healthy. They have
Yep.
a
Another season of J Dub.
yep, of course, and then now Shea is gonna be the key facilitator for the Thunder. So I especially think that he will exceed everyone's expectations, and I feel like he is just a hidden gem right now.
I actually was debating between him and Anthony Davis for my
Really,
last spot on my honorable mentions. Even though I had to give AD the nod because I'm a Laker
of
fan.
course, of course,
But my thing with SGA is that last season I think he was underrated by the media. Before then
definitely.
he was just another guy on a bad team who can, score the ball. But last year he made his first All NBA team, All NBA first team, and he averaged 30 burgers.
Yeah.
And I think it's very hard to top that.
Hmm.
That's one reason I put AD over him, and especially on the defensive side, it's Anthony Davis and SGA, and Anthony Davis, I think he was gonna have a DPOY type season. That's why I put him over SGA. And
Hmm.
also with Chet Holmgren coming back, I think his scoring will go down. But I
I
definitely
could
do
see
think
that.
he would be my number 9. But
Okay. Okay.
I'm kind of surprised that you don't have Steph Curry in your top 8.
Steph Curry, of course, Steph is Steph. You know, We've
Mhm.
seen him basically take over the league in previous seasons, but honestly, this season I don't really feel right with putting Steph in my honorable mentions, you know? And maybe this will come back to haunt me, but honestly,
Mhm.
I feel like the three players, AD, Shy, and KD, will
Mhm.
definitely do better than Steph, in my opinion.
Mm.
But you can never count
Even with the
Steph
Chris
out.
Paul
Like,
acquisition?
yeah, Chris Paul, I feel like now they're gonna now Steph. I think they're just gonna share the ball a lot more, you know. And I feel
Mm.
like Steph Curry, you know, I don't think his numbers will take a hit, but definitely I see those three players that I mentioned do way better than Steph. You know, I really trust AD to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate this year. KD will do
Mhm.
KD things, of course, and then Shea will be very much improved from last year, in my opinion. So definitely, I think all three of those players will be better than Steph.
Mm. I see that. I was actually kind of surprised because when I've seen top 5 lists from other people and other sports media sites like ESPN, they had Steph Curry as high as number 3.
Yeah, I
And
seen that too. I
I personally,
disagree.
yeah,
I
I
disagree with
disagree
that.
heavily.
Mm-hmm.
And because Steph Curry last season, he averaged 29 and a half. Let's round it. I'm going to round up for him.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And LeBron James, who a lot of media sites have him as 8 or 9, not outside of the top 5, he averaged 29, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds. They're similar numbers, but who beat who in the second round of the playoffs?
Of course, LeBron. Mm-hmm. The
Exactly.
GOAT.
LeBron James
Mm-hmm.
and the LeBron James and the Lakers, they beat the Warriors in 6 pretty convincingly in my opinion. So I thought it was kind of absurd that Steph Curry was so high on a lot of people's lists because of what just happened in the playoffs and LeBron was doing that on one leg. Like he was doing that with an injury. So it just kind of blew my mind and but also at the same time, being outside of your top 8 is also crazy to me. But I can see that because you know SGA was definitely better than Steph Curry last season,
Mm-hmm.
and with the Warriors getting older, Jamal Green has an injury currently, and they said they just revealed today that he's questionable to even debut on game 1 of the new season. So there's that. There's also Chris Paul. There's also drama with Klay Thompson not getting a contract extension. They said there has been no talks right now, and with all that, I think SGA definitely has a chance to be better than him.
There's like a lot of unknown factors going into the Warriors this season.
Because I think because the Warriors, I think their range in the standings, they could be from third to like 12th. I think there's just a
The Warriors, yeah.
lot of factors. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like Kaminga looks good in the preseason, but it's just preseason. Their rookie Podzemski, he looks very good too, but still the preseason, so we'll see, we'll see. And let's talk about Kevin Durant. We both had Kevin Durant. I was also surprised that Kevin Durant was outside of your top 5.
Yeah, I was. You know, it's hard putting Kevin Durant in the top 5. You know, last season I definitely think he was top 6 for sure. But this season, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I could put him top 6. Maybe number 7. Like, I really can't put him above AD. You know, of course, KD averaged 30 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. But is he doing better than any of the players we just mentioned? AD looks great in form. And of course, health is an issue. And of course, going into this season, um,
Mm-hmm.
AD is focusing on playing 82 games, all 82 games, actually. We know what AD is like when he's fully healthy. I feel like he, of course, is
Mm-hmm.
a defensive player of the year. When he's fully healthy, he is just a monster in defending. Also, he is a great scorer too, so we can't count that out. But KD, you know, he averaged 30 points.
Yeah, I agree. Surprisingly, AD played more games than KD last season.
Really, I did not know that
Um,
actually.
AD played 56, while KD played 47. He played 9 more games. And KD's been having health issues last few years. Since his Achilles injury, he played 35 games and then 55 games and then 47 games. He only suited up 8 times in the regular season for the Phoenix Suns last season. And though he was great in the playoffs, he got sunned by Jokic in the Nuggets.
He did get sun. Yep.
And with Bradley Beal coming to the team, I think his production is going to drop down a lot as well. And I actually had him over AD, but you convinced me. AD over KD right now.
Of course. Laker
Yep.
Nation.
Yes, sir. And then I think we have the same number one.
Yeah, you know,
It's Jokic.
Nikola. Yep.
It's Jokic.
Jokic, the Joker.
The reigning Finals MVP. He should have won MVP last year.
Should have won MVP, of course, definitely.
Yeah. It's really hard to argue this one. What gap do you think is bigger between 2 and 3? So Giannis and Luka, or Jokic and Giannis? Which gap do you think is bigger?
I definitely think the gap between the second and third, which is Giannis and Luka, is much more significant than the gap between Jokic and Giannis. In my opinion, we know what Giannis does in the paint. He scores effortlessly, and he basically just manhandles in the paint constantly. He averages 32 points, 12 rebounds a game. But Jokic is something different, you know. Of course, he's averaging less points than Giannis, which is around 25 points per game. And also a little bit less rebounds, which is 11.5. But the thing that separates these two is definitely the playmaking, the assists. We have Jokic averaging 10 assists per game. And I want to argue that he is the best passer in the NBA right now over LeBron too, in my opinion.
I agree.
Definitely Jokic playmaking puts him over Giannis for the number one spot in my book.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think Jokic is just more valuable at this point. You can argue that Giannis's defense may make him more valuable than Jokic, but it's not like Jokic is a terrible defender. And I think his playmaking and his just him as a system of offense and him making other players better, I think that just sets him apart from Giannis. And also at the same time, he's the reigning Finals MVP. You gotta put respect on that.
As sad as sounds, he did go to the Lakers, gave them the little, broom.
We don't talk about
Yeah,
we don't talk
it's
about
very
that.
sad,
Not on this podcast.
Okay.
Not on this podcast. So for me, I think the gap between my 2 and 3, Giannis and LeBron, and the gap between Jokic and Giannis, I think the gap between Jokic and Giannis is bigger currently than Giannis and LeBron.
Really?
I think if we're saying healthy LeBron and healthy Giannis and healthy Jokic, I think Jokic is at a scale of 10. If 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest, Jokic is at 10. Giannis is at a 7. And LeBron's at a 6. I think Giannis and LeBron, if they're both healthy, as well we see in the playoffs, Giannis lost the 8th seed in 5 games.
Yep, unfortunately.
That's very embarrassing. And he's still number 2 in my opinion, but I think
you think LeBron
and Giannis is closer.
Do you think that LeBron could overtake Giannis?
Once again, hell yeah. If he's healthy. If he's healthy. Definitely.
Health is definitely a huge concern.
Definitely. Yeah, I think the rest is pretty even. Our 3, 4, and 5 are the same personnel. It's just different orders. I think it could just go either way, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
Except LeBron.
Yeah.
Except LeBron. For me personally. But I'm biased. Yep. But yeah, I think those we have the same top 5, in personnel. And I think we can come to a agreement. We can leave it at that for the current top 5 list. And then now we can go to top 5 all time
of all time.
NBA.
So yeah, I think my list will look very similar to yours, but I'm curious. Well, I do know who some of your players are for sure. So
I'm gonna be straight with you. 4 out of 5 play for the Lakers.
okay,
A little
so
spoiler.
let me guess your number 5 then.
Okay, you can guess.
You definitely put Kobe Bean Bryant at number 5.
You can guess my whole top 5. You can. I'll try to guess yours too.
Okay, definitely number 1 you have LeBron James, of course, the GOAT. Number 2 you have Michael Jordan. And
Number 3.
number 3 and 4 you could probably interchange. I think number 3 you put Kareem, number 4 you put Magic, and number 5 you put Kobe.
You're right on the dot. Exact list. That's
Okay,
crazy.
see, my list is very similar to yours, but
Let me try to guess too.
Okay,
Let me
okay,
try to
okay.
guess. I know you, and you've been saying who the GOAT is. So number 1, Bron.
Yes, sir.
Number 2, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
And since you said you can switch 3 and 4, I'ma just go ahead and guess that you have Magic at 3 and Kareem at 4. And then I think you have the Black Mamba, Kobe Bean, also at number 5.
Okay, so at number 3, I actually have Kareem, and number 4, I have Magic. I did not switch them. I thought
Oh
maybe you
shit!
would
You
switch
got
them.
me.
Yeah, but
You
but
got me. You got me.
at number 5, though, I don't think you expect him. But at number 5, I put Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Mhm.
Damn.
Of
A
course,
Celtic. A Celtic and a
Uh-huh.
Laker pod. That's crazy. That's
So
crazy.
you know how many rings he won. He is the. If we're
Yeah.
talking about winning,
More than his fingers.
Yep, he is the
More than his
greatest player in
fingers.
NBA history. If we're talking about how many times he has won in the championship,
Yeah. I mean, the Finals MVP is literally named after him.
Yeah, and that's what makes him so great of a player. Definitely he has the championships to back it up. That's why I put him
Mhm.
over players like Kobe, like players like Wilt. I definitely think he's a winning player and definitely deserves a top 5 spot.
I think since our 1 to 4 is the same, I think we can just debate between 5 and then our honorable mentions.
Mhm.
So I'll go with my honorable mentions first. This is actually in order. So number 6, I have Tim Duncan. Number 7, Bill Russell. Number 8, Shaquille O'Neal. What about you?
Okay, so at number 6, I have Wilt. At number 7, I have Kobe. And at number 8, I have Larry Bird.
Damn. Our
it's
lists are very different.
it's very hard. As you say, Tim Duncan. So it's basically it's harder for me to put Tim Duncan over Larry Bird. Both are
Mhm.
greats of the game, and I feel like Tim Duncan had I feel like he had a systematic role in the Spurs, that worked out very well for him. Spurs legend. But if we're talking about an actual legend, I feel like Larry Bird fits that description better, won 3
Just because
championships.
his nickname is Larry Legend.
3 championships with the Celtics. And he basically was, my opinion, before Michael Jordan entered the league, I feel like he ran the league,
So he
And
the GOAT.
yeah, basically, without Michael
Over
Jordan,
Kareem?
honestly, it could go both ways, It could go both ways.
Yeah, you have Larry really high.
Uh-huh. And, Larry's one of my favorite players, I know, coming from a Lakers fan. I just feel like his all-around offensive prowess made him one of the game's all-time great players,
Mhm.
Some legendary battles between them and the Lakers.
Mm.
And, you can't ever count Larry out.
I guess actually, I have Steph Curry over Larry. Top
Really?
10.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I won't go too far into that, but why I have Tim Duncan over Larry? For me, easily, TD has 5 rings.
Of course, 5 rings.
Tim Duncan, 5-time NBA champion, 3 times NBA Finals MVP, and 2 times Most Valuable Player. While Larry Bird, 3-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, and 3
Ooh.
times NBA Most Valuable Player.
Yeah, so if we're definitely going by accolades. Tim
Mhm.
Duncan easily surpasses, but I feel like the stats and the contribution of Larry definitely puts him over Tim Duncan for me in my book.
Mm. I would like to argue with your debate with your point that Tim Duncan was a system player, but the Celtics, the '80s Celtics, are one of the greatest dynasties of all time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so if we're going by that, I think sure. Tim Duncan didn't have the best, PPG kind of because he is a fundamental player,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I could definitely see. Larry is one of the legends. Literally his nickname, Larry Legend.
Larry Legend.
Yeah.
And so I had Kobe. Yep, Kobe at 7. I can't put him top 5. I can't put him
Dang,
top 5 for
that's
me.
tough.
Definitely Kobe. Of course, 5 championships with the Lakers. Of course, Mr. Mamba. You know, I don't know. Like the 5 players that I've listed, we have LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kareem, Magic, and Bill Russell. Is he better than any of those players? I don't think so. It's very hard for me to put Kobe in the top 5. Given that he has a
Dang.
lot of accolades, he doesn't
Hmm.
he doesn't pass any of the players that I've listed in my top 5, in my opinion.
On the accolades, Kobe is pretty lacking compared to the others.
Definitely.
Five-time champion, but only 2 times Finals MVP, only 1 regular season MVP. So I could definitely see that. Honestly, it's my Laker bias that I have Kobe at top 5. I used to have Tim Duncan top 5. Kobe and at number 5, I had Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant swapped. But for me, it was always between those two. And as great as Bill Russell was, the era he played in, not a lot of
Okay.
teams, not a lot of great talent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, he did play against Will Chamberlain, but I think just
Other than
the
that,
amount of talent, players like Kobe, Tim Duncan, and no, LeBron James. These guys played. I think the competition was they had just way more skill, way more athletic.
I could
All
definitely
of
see
those
that.
things. That's why I have Bill Russell at 7. 7 because he's still great, still 11 rings. One of the greatest defensive players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I have to respect that. So that's why I have him at 7. Yep. And then our last two, you have Wilt and I have Shaq.
In my opinion, I feel like I know this is gonna be a hot take, but I feel like Kobe Bryant is very much better than Shaq. So I can't put Shaq over Kobe for me. And definitely
Mm,
Wilt is 100% better than Kobe or Shaq.
dang.
Yep, he's basically
100%,
he
huh?
holds so many records. Of course, the 100-point game that may never be broken, but records are meant to be broken. But in his
Mm,
career, he has averaged 30 points per game, 23 rebounds per game, and 4 assists. But like, has anyone ever put up those numbers? He's just a great talent, so much better than Shaq and Kobe. Of course, that they have more
mhm.
championships.
Yeah. Wilt has 2. Wilt has 2, 1 Finals MVP, while Shaq has 4 rings with 3 Finals MVPs.
hmm But if we're talking about championships and we're going by that narrative, then Bill Russell should be the greatest. So I don't hold championships to that much regard, except for the fact of the matter that Bill Russell has more championship than his fingers combined. So that definitely takes account. But seeing his 2 championship rings from Wilt, also with his 30-20 stat line, I don't think it'll ever be done again, and that's why I hold him to such a high
Mm.
regard over Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, his stats are definitely, you know, they literally say Wilt stats for a reason.
hmm
Will has like every record. But same thing with Bill Russell, the era he played in. Same era as Bill Russell, and Bill Russell has 11 rings to his 2, and they played against each other in the finals. And he does have 4 regular season MVPs to Shaq's 1, which is very shocking that he only has 1. But I do think it's very unfortunate that he left the Lakers so early, and then he went on this ring chasing run. He went to the
Yeah.
Heat, the Suns, the Cavs, and then the Celtics. The Celtics Shaq meme, the
Yeah.
washed. It's hilarious, but it's just he could have had more rings. He could have
He could
been
have. Definitely.
top
Most
3,
definitely.
top 5 if he stay with the Lakers and Kobe. And it's unfortunate, but I think he also was 1 vote shy of winning the first unanimous MVP. LeBron was also 1 vote shy,
Mhm.
but Steph Curry won the first unanimous MVP in 2016. But that's how great Shaq was. Like the media was saying, "Yeah, this is the best player. This is the best player in the world. He was that good." Another thing, he was born in New Jersey.
Really?
Shout
I
out
did
to
not know that.
Jersey. Yeah,
I did not know that.
born
Wow,
at
that's pretty cool.
Newark, New Jersey. Yep.
Newark, what the? I did not
Mhm.
know. That's
Very
pretty
close,
cool.
very close. And also, his birthday's flipped from mine. I was born June 3rd. His birthday, March 6th, which is also Josh Hart's birthday, which is
Josh Hart.
one of my favorite players of all time. And
Let's go next.
he's on my award prediction for the next episode. So
Ooh.
it's a little
Okay.
spoiler,
Okay.
but yeah. But Wilt is definitely my top 10, no doubt. I would probably have him over Larry,
Okay. I
but I
definitely.
think I think I would have Shaq. I mean, I think I would have Steph over Wilt.
Stephen Curry.
Just
Hmm.
from his impact in the basketball world. Not to say, 4 rings, 1 Finals MVP, 2 MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs, 1 being unanimous. The greatest shooter alive all time.
He did change the game.
Most 3-pointers all time. And I'm not the biggest Curry fan as a LeBron and Laker fan, but
Definitely have to
Curry's
give him some
just him.
flowers. Yeah.
Curry's just that guy.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely have to give Curry flowers.
but yeah, it's definitely my top 10. Oh, is he in your top 10?
He is not. I don't think he is in my top 10. He is probably lingering to my 12, 11. But he's getting there. He's getting there.
What if he wins 1 more ring and 1 more Finals MVP?
Then I put
5 rings, 2 Finals MVP.
Then definitely he's in the top 7 conversation. There'll need to be
Dude, if that
movement on.
happens, I think I put him over Kobe, to be honest. Like maybe even Magic.
No, definitely not Magic. Definitely not
Really?
Magic. Also, the thing with Magic is that he retired early too,
Yeah.
and
Only
he
played around 11 seasons.
I believe in
I believe.
Magic's rookie year. I believe
Yeah, he won Finals MVP.
he won Final MVP in his rookie year. Like
Rookie
how
year.
many rookies have done that?
None.
Yeah, none except for
But also
Magic.
at the same time, he had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He did have
on
Kareem,
his
yeah.
team.
But being that
But
good
he
from the
did start
jump.
for him. Yeah, but he did start for Kareem in the finals. At center, he's a point guard.
Mhm.
And they went on to win the championship. And as a rookie, that's crazy.
That is very
obviously.
crazy. Never heard before.
So, and if you ask me who the greatest point guard of all time right now is, still Magic.
It's
but
still Magic
I think
for me.
Steph is right there.
Steph is right there.
I
Yep.
think Steph is right there.
Mhm.
I think Steph is right there. Let's just do a quick review. I'll say my top 5 list, current NBA, and then you can say your top 5 list. All right.
Mhm.
I'll go from the top. Number 1, Nikola Jokic. Number 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 3, LeBron James. Number 4, Luka Doncic. Number 5, Joel Embiid.
All right. My list. Number 1, we have Nikola. Number 2, we have Giannis. Number 3, we have Luka. Number 4, we got Joel Embiid. And number 5, we got the GOAT, LeBron James.
Solid list. Solid list.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the all-time top 5. Number 1, LeBron James. Number 2, Michael Jordan. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 4, Magic Johnson. And last but not least, number 5, rest in peace to the Black Mamba, Kobe Bean Bryant.
R.I.P. R.I.P. And similar to your list, I have LeBron James at number 1. Number 2, we got Michael Jordan. Number 3, we got Kareem. Number 4, we got Magic Johnson. And at number 5, I got Bill Russell.
Bill Russell, the only Celtic
Mm-hmm.
in these
Mm-hmm.
lists.
I had to.
I respect it. He is one of the greats.
Mm-hmm.
Can't argue with that. And yeah, those are our top 5 lists for current and all time. John, it was great having you here. It's great
Thank
talking
you. It
ball
was a
with you.
pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for listening to our first episode of the One Sided Pod. And this is Rechi, and
Of course, this is Jonathan.
hope we catch you in the next episode. Thank you.